Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
Mema wakwaba e de ba PENDREAM TV so make sure say obe subscribe to channel no click bell so say the news to our sabit me aka ntem no watie afa so make sure say obe like na wa comment no share ama afoforo so nsaka na comment section ho so no opese wo kire wadwen abetimi e de wadwen kire ato honom na amanfo so anya bia kenkan na onim say PENDREAM TV there eye nsem a ekoso Ghana yam politics mu ne de ba na yasaka ya ne de abranti na so me video I saka pese no che na ye de ba nti me mo modern astro so obehwe video we amana si awie na wa kire wa adwen e comment section na se yenko video.
Recently the World Bank released a report, and yesterday when I was reading the World Bank report I thought I wasn't seeing it well. The World Bank says that if you were to peg the daily expenditure of a household, assuming even each household consists of 2 people, and you were to peg the daily expenditure at 34 cedis, and 34 cedis, now 1 kenke is 5 cedis, fish 10 cedis. So even if you are 2, whether you and your sister, husband and wife, and you buy kenke and fish in the afternoon, and you don't even buy breakfast and dinner, and you eat lunch only, the World Bank says 30% of Ghanaians are poor. By that meter, the exchange, the dollar they used was $2.15. When you bring it down to $3.25, 55% of Ghanaians are poor. When it gets to $6, over 88% of Ghanaians are poor. We are sitting on a time bomb.
Per day per person?
Per day per household, not person.
Oh, per household.
Yes. I was trying to find the definition of household. But even if the household is even 2. So let me give it the barest minimum 2. We are sitting on a time bomb. And when we are talking about these challenges, what the government should be doing is not to be telling us about 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam, because there are no dams anywhere for irrigation purposes. The minister who dug the dam is telling you and asking you what reasonable dam do we expect her to construct. Food inflation as at 2023 was 55%. We are in a country where people practically can't breathe. What this Afrobarometer is telling us that despite every intervention you claim to have implemented, you have 9 out of 10 Ghanaians practically suffocating and saying that the country is not headed in the right direction. And any time you complain, they are quick to still bring back 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam. 1 what, 1 what. They are very good with sloganeering. They can see no evil, hear no evil, smell no evil. I don't even know what is wrong. Nobody, because consistently, Loratu is an expert in monitoring and evaluation. Expert project advisor. You know, she's an expert in so many things. Anytime an issue happens, she will say, oh, you have to do money. What is the monitoring and evaluation report on these policies? That after 7 years, everybody keeps telling you that these interventions were just gimmick. They were just political winning votes. The impact is not being felt. The lives of people are worse off until you came to power. More than 850,000 Ghanaians could not be deemed as poor. In 2020, an additional 850,000 people were pushed down the poverty line of 34 cedis per household. And the government can simply not listen. Many young people cannot find jobs. The national security apparatus is telling us, remains one of our greatest national security threats. Today, the only thing people have, the only hope young people have, is the ability to have a phone and data. so at least they can do something for themselves. People practically have nothing. They have nothing to show in the country where there is no hope. And quickly when you raise the issue, they'll be quick to tell you that one village, one dam, one what? Agenda 111. They are not listening. They are not doing the listening. And you know, it is even the temerity and the audacity to keep doing the wrong thing. In an election year, everybody feels that at least the political parties will try to be doing things which are politically right. You know, so that we can even say that, oh, it's an election year and things are not going well, but the government is, and you can see things. And sometimes we chastise politicians for even doing the right things when it's an election year. In this election year, you don't find some. See, many young people can't find job. The Afro Barometer is telling us that many people, above 80% of Ghanaians, find themselves in situations where cumulatively they cannot find hope. Job is the number one. In fact, many researchers have shown that people going into this election, job is the number one reason why they will decide whether they were voting for the NPP or the NDC. When the NPP has an opportunity to address the issue of job, Dr. Bawumia will lie about jobs. We'll just put a figure out there and say, my government has created 2.1 million jobs in the face of people, insulting people. It is so sad. It is so sad. You see, sometimes...
Yeah, but maybe people have really benefited from jobs.
Which people? See, and that is why sometimes I think that we must expose the duplicity and the lies of the NPP. You know, I cannot passionately say this enough. It's like the NPP is giving every politician a bad name. In 2016, unemployment stood at 8.6%. The figure which culminated into the 8.6% was 938,000. That is the figure. At the time, Dr. Bawumia was the economic risk kid, holding lectures everywhere, encouraging us to download his lectures on how to restore the value of the cedi. So, watch the figures. 938,000 were the people who were unemployed. Admittedly, that number was high. Then in 2020, the unemployment figures moved from 8.1 to 9.6. And the raw data per the Ghana Living Standard Survey 7 is that 1,027,594 people could not get jobs. So the addition is about 100,000. So we have moved from 900 and something thousand to 1 million. Now, in 2024, the Ghana Statistical Service is telling us that 1.9 million people do not have any form of education, employment, or training as we speak. So, assuming without admitting that if the unemployment rate in 2016 was 938,000 and you have 1.9, it means additional 900 and something thousand is what has been added to the population. Now, Dr. Bawumia says that he has created 2.1 million jobs. So which people were employed? From the time you assume power till now, the data shows that you've added over 900 and something thousand. So assuming you were to create 1 million jobs, you would have absorbed all the people, or what kind of jobs? And you see, to see that the lies and they just bundle figures around is that the Minister of Employment in September, 16 September, I think, stated that this government had created 5.3 million jobs. In fact, in February 2021, he now reduced the figure from the 5.3 million jobs to 3 million jobs. And then Dr. Bawumia also in February 27 said they have created 2.2. But recently when he was addressing us at UPSA, he took 100,000 away and said he has 2.1. How do you joke with the destiny of young people? If you cannot do anything about it, do not lie. And in the face of all these challenges, see, bread, me, I like kusiayache and bread. Bread, a crate was 12 cedis. Today, a crate of bread is 65 cedis.
A crate of eggs.
A crate of eggs, 65 cedis. Yam, which Dr. Bawumia tweeted that 100 pieces of yam was 170 cedis in 2012. And it was so bad that how should Ghanaians buy one tuber of yam for 1 cedi, 70 pesos? And that as the economic wizard with the economical philosophy championed with Adam Smith and everything, he was coming to change the Gatsby's economy. Today, we are buying yam, a tuber, for 40 cedis.
Hey, I thought it was 30.
30 is if you are single and you are alone. But if you have children and you want the one with meat kakra, you know me, I go to the market a lot, 40 cedis. You are buying gari, which in economics, they used to tell us that, oh, gari is an inferior good. So if you are writing exams and you forget examples of inferior goods, gari, they have changed economic principles. Gari is now 30 cedis olonka. As if that is not enough. Tomatoes. These days, people don't invite people to come and eat jollof. Tomatoes, which was just 8 cedis, and they were everywhere. Dr. Bawumia went to Malacca market and was holding a bag of tomatoes, saying that, how can we buy this 8 cedis? And that the Ghana Statistical Service inflation was just false, and that this is 8 cedi, it is unconscionable. It's 200 cedis today, the white bucket. And the dollar which they said we should download the speech, which was 4 cedis, and it was so bad. John Mahama was incompetent, unconscious, whatever English they were using to describe. They cannot for their life think that dollar to a cedi is 4 cedis. Today we are being told that we should celebrate because by the logic of our economic messiah, 16 cedis to a dollar is better. And when we have to discuss the Afro barometer, we are being told that we should be so grateful to government because their interventions are making us poorer. Right. We should be so grateful to government because we are not seeing anything. We should be so grateful to government because nothing is being done. And right. you see, in concluding, I want to say that this is not just the Afro barometer. Even without the Afro barometer, this is the reality of our lives. We have been in this country before. We have experienced different governments. The first NPP government, led by Kufuor, had its challenges. But we never saw this arrogance and temerity and lies and this level of recklessness. Today, the minister, food inflation is the highest. Today, Ghanaians spend more than 60% of their earnings on food. Your minister of agriculture, who is supposed to be concerned about what we eat and how much we buy it, is concerned about buying hotels. Your guess is as good as mine.
Is his company that's dealing.
Which company? The company is a 100% shareholder. Do you want us to go into that?
We're not going into that.
Because
but his companies they have a management team. They are the ones.
Which management? He's a director and a shareholder. There is no other management team that is not part of.